Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy, the 14th Prime, and tonight we are taking a look at W Resources M01 Iron Fortress. It's the oversized Fall of Cybertron Metroplex in hand. Now, remember back in '86 when we all thought that this was going to be the biggest toy ever of Transformers that was ever made, the original Fortress Maximus. I remember getting this guy on Christmas. I've told y'all the story a million times. It was one of the greatest Christmases of my entire life. And then we fast forwarded to, what was that, 2003, 2004, I believe, when we finally got our very first actual Titan toy, which was Generations Thrilling 30's Metroplex, who was also 2 feet tall, which finally rivaled the scale of the original Fortress Maximus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? M01 Iron Fortress has outdone themselves. This thing is ridiculous. It's 125 centimeters. Let me break that down for you. It's 4 feet 2 inches tall. Now, this is on Mag Motion. You can see how big this thing is. He's done a in-hand review of the figure. Comes with a big price tag of $1,100 US. It will ship the first quarter of 2025. Man. So I looking at this thing. Okay, you can see the shoulder of Thrilling 30's Metroplex to the far right. You can see Trypticon from Titan's Return right there on the floor in front of him. It barely comes up to his shins. This is ridiculous. 4 feet 2 inches. And my only issue about this is I've been looking at this and covering this for a while now, is that the city mode on this thing has got to be ridiculous. It's got to be. But they didn't show any pictures. I have yet to watch the Mag Motion review. I wanted y'all to see this and hear about it for yourselves first. But man, at $1,000 for 4 feet, that's a Titan class. That's, you know what I mean? That's getting your money's worth. Now, granted, Unicron was $500 when first initially announced. And I think he only stands at like 27. Your normal Titan is anywhere from 18 to 24. So even Unicron was just 3 inches taller. This thing is 4 feet tall and 2 inches. It's got lights. It's got lights throughout the city. That I do remember. I know there's like light pads or whatever. I think, well, if this is the same one that I covered about 8 months ago, there's light pads that you can put into it yourself. Unless now they come in standard. But yes, of course, the eyes do light up. I'm sure the city towers light up. And then if you put the guns on his shoulders, he's even taller. But yeah, like the detail, the crafted detail, the plastic molding, everything on this thing just screams Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. He does look stumpier in the legs. He reminds me of that Robeson robot that came out from WowWee a couple years ago. Well, actually, 20 years ago. It just seems like it was a couple. But, like, look at him. Like, the original 2-foot Metroplex is barely to, like, where his fist is. Like, this guy this is crazy. Like, if you can't afford this or if you want something like this is the kind of thing that'll make somebody buy a 3D printer and just get to work. I actually have a project planned this year that I plan on doing. I've been watching a bunch of cardboard videos and a bunch of diorama videos. And I'm inspired now to maybe craft my own Unicron. I want to give myself like a year, but I want to make it roughly about the size of this, about 4 feet, maybe even 5 feet. Out of cardboard, paint the whole thing, and then go over it with like a plastic molding or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. So yeah, there's your look at the 4 foot, $1,100 Metroplex. Now let's look at Destron. The Destron later. These people are getting nice with the boxes. Look at that knockoff Studio Series 86 Megatron box. You can't beat that. Yes, Romulus is being packaged and shipped out in the first quarter of 2025. I believe this thing, I said, is $160, I want to say. But yes, G1 Megatron turns into his classic P38 pistol. He is 6.69 inches tall, 17 centimeters. The video is also from Dr. LJ, which is also at Mang Motion. Look for this to be shipping January 2025, and it will cost $160 for Romulus. For those of you who do want a Studio Series 86 Megatron to be what he was in the cartoon, should be. Oh, and here, I'm not even going to say anything about this. Just so y'all know, this does ship in the U.S. This will be in the U.S. Do you see an orange tip? Anywhere. That's all I'm going to say. Is it big enough to fit in his hand? It's not core class? That's all I'm going to say. Does it turn into a gun and they're shipping it to people in the United States of America like we said they could, but only Hasbro said that they don't want to do it, but other toy companies can? Yeah, because here you go. This is definitely handheld size. And if you go in my comments and say something about so many little kids are going to get shot, shut up and unsubscribe. This is a grown man channel. This is for grown people. Megatron. This is what Megatron should have been. Last in the news, if you missed out on the Age of the Primes Titan class that's coming, because obviously Star Convoy is supreme. Just, he is not a Titan, but the Titan will be none other than Trypticon. Yes, your boy, the 14 Prime, did a video about a week ago, and one of the people in the comments said, I hope they retool this or redo it. Well, here you go. Trypticon is being re-released in the Age of the Primes as the Titan for, I guess, 2025? I guess. But either way, differences are there is no more translucent ramp down the front of Trypticon. He is done in his cartoon colors, that dark gray and a deep, like, magenta purple. Necro and Full Tilt still come with the toy. He is still a headmaster. He is really bright. They did put new rims on him. Other than that, I don't see any differences except for the paint. A lot of people love the black and the green, which is reminiscent to the original G1 toy, which I do have on the floor. If you didn't see that, check out my Trypticon video. I put it up a couple nights ago, and it's linked to last night's video. So there you go. It's your buddy, the 14 Prime. Y'all have a wonderful new year.